not everyone has to know everything about you, everything that is going on in your life, every little nuance of who you are.
The 5 people that you spend the most time with will influence who you are.
And so you may as well put your time, your resources, your energy into relationships that really serve you and that support you and that help you. You're listening to episode 8 of Apology Void.
Episode 8? I can't believe we're here.
I know, right? Like, it's crazy that we are already at episode 8. I don't know how that's even possible.
I feel like that's gone so quick.
It has. Like, I just reached out to you yesterday, didn't I? And was like, let's do a podcast together. That's when that happened. It was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
And now we are, if we do episodes like every other week and we're recording episode 8, that's like 4 months.
Yeah. That we started recording 4 months ago.
Where did that time go?
That's insane.
I don't know. It's already February. Somehow January is gone. A lot of people said that January felt like 9 years long for them, but for me it flew. And somehow we're already here.
We're in February. It did feel like 9 years long to me, but I love that.
Yeah.
I posted something on my story the other day, and it was one of those memes about January going really long, and everyone was like complaining. I was like, but I love it because, one, I don't want to wish my life away, and I want every month to be that long because you feel like you get so much done.
Yeah, right. Okay, so I feel like people complain about time going too fast regularly, so like just enjoy that 96 days of January exist.
It's the best. But that happens every year, right? I feel like January is slow, and then February is like, tapers out, but then the rest of the year just flies.
Then it's
by
just
the time April comes, you're like, what? It's already April.
Exactly.
Like, we booked a holiday the other day, and I'm so excited. But it's not until May, but that's going to come so quick.
May's like right around the corner.
Literally.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I'm
also don't want to wish it. I mean, I'm pumped, but I don't want to wish it too fast.
Right. Because you're in summer right now. You were just telling me how, like, you're growing this beautiful garden and you have watermelons right now. And, I'm excited for that season, but also I love my winter season that I'm in at the moment and the little slower pace that we have.
Yeah, good luck for you growing a garden right now.
We did have some, like, early flowers that are starting to peek through. And I was like, this is good. This is good signs. This brings me hope and joy.
I love gardens. Honestly, I love them. They make me so happy. Ben, you're right. Summer's the best season to grow, so I'm excited.
Yeah. It really, I'm so excited for everyone and everything and summer and gardening and dirt.
I'm excited for dirt.
It's true.
Well, it's true. I totally get that, though. I'm laughing, but I totally understand.
I used to live in a 9th story of a condo building. And so all I had was this itty bitty little balcony garden. And I felt like I was in this nest away from everything. And I'm like, I gotta get back into the dirt. I have to get back into the earth and just put my hands in it. So.
There really is something about that. Definitely.
It's therapeutic.
You need
outside. So good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You really do.
That should be one of my episodes.
Outside should be one of our episodes. Again, I'll put it on the Trello. But you know what else you need, Sal?
What?
You know what else you need?
What?
Good people.
Good people. Yes. That's what this week is about. We should get on track for the episode. That's what this week is about. Good people and your circle, the people who you associate with. Like last week we talked about identity, becoming who you are. And this week we're going to expand on that and talk about the people that are around you and how that helps shape who you are as a person.
Yeah. My identity is as a gardener. But my circle is an important piece of that.
The dirt is a part of that. No.
It really is. It really is. Okay, So this past week, I got to travel back to Springfield, Illinois, where I had been living for the last, gosh, what, like 12, 15 years. And one of the things that was important to me was creating time with my people, with the people that fuel me, that have built me, that really support me. Because those people are such a part of like who I am. I know that might sound silly, but we had been talking about how the people you surround yourself with help create who you are. They influence who you are as a person. They are the things that build you up, that support you, that, I mean, you adopt the language of the people around you on a regular basis. If I spend enough time with somebody, chances are I'm going to like start using their primary phrases. And you realize it one day when it just comes out of your mouth and you're like, oh gosh, okay, I've adopted this now. This is now who I
100%.
am. Isn't it strange?
Yeah, and it doesn't sound silly at all. Like you said, it doesn't at all because there is so much. Like there are books and audios and so much information on this, and it's true. You become like your circle, the 5 people that you hang around with. You become those people, and that's why. And we're going to talk about this a bit more, but that's why it's really important to think about those people and the people that are closest to you that help you become a better person, that help you and support you in achieving your goals, that lift you up and don't put you down, that bring positivity into your life rather than any negativity. And if it's any of the contrary, like if you're finding that there is negativity, people are putting you down, they're not supporting you, maybe it's time to rethink those people that are closest to you.
Yeah, like walk away. And
Mm,
that's so hard to do, but it'll only benefit you in the long run. Like
mm,
it'll only benefit you in your life and your development and who you are, every piece of it. If you have
yeah,
people in your life who aren't supporting who you want to be, step away from them. And whether that's take a break to really evaluate things or step away from them permanently, like there's no shame in that. There's no shame
no,
in saying goodbye to things that no longer serve you.
definitely easier said than done, like you said. Like it's not, because sometimes for some people, like that's their partner. And I know, like, if personally, I'm really lucky to have a partner, and you are too, that like supports everything that I do, is a positive influence, like does want to grow personally. But if the part, because you like, quite often we live with our partner, right? So you live with that person, you're spending the most time with them. You are, yeah, I am too. The most time with them, like you're going to adapt some of their mannerisms, their personality, not their personality, but their like auras, like their negative or positive auras. That's one of the most important relationships.
Yeah.
So, sometimes that's their partner. If you're finding even, and to walk away from that is not, it's like, I'm done with you now. Click your fingers and see you later. It's like we talked
Yes.
about that last week. Things don't just change drastically. It's about stepping back, like you said, and
Right.
evaluating whether that's the best relationship to who you are and where you're going and what you want to achieve, etc.
Yeah. One of the things that helped me process leaving a lot of different people in my life was recognizing that just because people are in my life doesn't mean they're there forever. Some people
Mm,
are right for different seasons. And that is
so
such
true.
a big realization. Like some people are there for just a specific season of your life. Some people are there for a day, others for years, others for months. And just because they're the right people for that season doesn't mean they're the right people forever. And
So true.
yeah, and people will maybe sometimes come in and out of those phases, and that's okay. We're all on our own personal like growth and development journeys, and if those don't mesh in a forward moving kind of parallel way, you're
Mm,
gonna depart at some point. And so you may as well put your time, your resources, your energy into relationships that really serve you and that support you and that help you.
mm.
I
And
could
it's
go
not to
on.
say, oh yeah, I know, 100%. And yeah, absolutely right in everything you're saying. The seasons, people coming and going, that will just happen in life, no matter what. It's like when you change a job, like in a workplace, you make friends and acquaintances and you spend time with them. Then when you leave that job, like I've had jobs where some of the friends they've stuck, right? So, but if I'm in a workplace with 10 people, one might stick. You know,
Yeah.
you're not going to then spend time with the other 9 people. That's a season of your life. That's, I guess, a good example of what you're talking about. But it doesn't mean to say as well that you don't have to cut people out completely if maybe they're not in support of, or let's say the core 5, right? We're talking about those 5 people that you hang around with. They can still be acquaintances. It's just you might limit the time that you spend with them. So
Yes.
if you have a friend that you still really like hanging out with them, they're, a good friend, but perhaps they are not conducive to who you want to be, success, etc. Maybe just don't spend most of your time with that person,
Yeah.
or choose the environments that you're spending your time with that person. They can, we're not saying you pick 5 people and you can't have anyone else in your life. No, that's just weird. But what I'm saying is the 5 people that you spend the most time with will influence who you are.
Yeah. So I look at it like a dartboard. You know how it has like the
Oh, yeah,
layers,
that's a good idea. Yeah.
and the external is like the lowest number of points, and then like the closer you get to that center, the smaller it is, but also like the highest value, the highest number of points. So I look at it like each different circle has different boundaries, and the people who meet the most of your boundaries are the ones who end up in the very center. Those are like the core closest relationships that you have. Those are the people who get to see and know every piece of you on its deepest level. The people who then maybe like don't meet as many boundaries, they could go into a close friends. Then beyond that, you would go to a next circle out like friends. Then beyond that, acquaintances. Then beyond that, strangers. And with that, comes, the less time and information that you share with those people. Not everyone has to know everything about you, everything that is going on in your life, every little nuance of who you are, and they don't get to spend all of your time and resources with you. So, like, limiting it by boundaries, and this was put to me in a really interesting way at one point. Like, the people in the smallest, most center space, they're the people who wear like the blue shoes, the red tie, the purple earrings. Like those people, they made all the boundaries. The people in the next layer may only wear like the blue shoes, the red tie. The next people may only wear like the blue shoes. If that makes sense, it's like identifying what your boundaries are and then allowing people in at those different levels with that different criteria. That is like how you identify your core, and people can move in and out of those different segments. Even people like family can move in and out of those different segments at different points in your life, depending on where you are, where they are, because even those people that you are blood related to are on their own journey.
I love that, the dartboard. I've never heard that before. That's
Yeah.
amazing. That is such a good way of to describe what we're saying. I feel like we could just end. The end. That's what we're like, and cut. That's
Yeah.
perfect. Like that, the bullseye, the center is your core 5, and then you go out
Yeah.
from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I mean, like, I have my core 1, let's be real. Like my partner.
Literally. You're right. Same. I have no
Like,
friends, no.
my partner gets to see the deepest, most intimate levels of me and gets to know me. And I don't mean that in like a sexual or anything way. I don't mean that kind of
No.
intimacy. I mean like they get to see the goofiest, most ridiculous pieces of me when I'm like making up words and doing funny dances at my house. They get to see this like total goofball side, but they also get to see the very like deep emotional side of me. And I'm not going to necessarily share that same level. One, I don't feel like it's respectful to my partner because they are that person who has met all of my boundaries. And to like just openly share that with everyone, it kind of creates a sense of like cheapness. It like
Mm,
cheapens
mm.
your like really close relationships. But then I've got all the people I saw this past week who are in that close friend group who I will prioritize my time with, who they could call me up in the middle of the night no matter what, and I will say, "Yes, I will be there." They're the people who would do the same for me. They meet that criteria and I meet it back. We respect each other and we show up in times of need. You know, the friend I was staying with, she's such a beautiful human. Like, absolutely, absolutely adore her. She's working on like redoing part of her house currently. And I was like, I'm going to come help you. And she's like, you don't have to do that. And I was like, no, I want to.
Want to, yeah.
I want to. I want to be a part of that. I want to show up in your life. And in turn, like, she wanted to show up and help me move. And those are like those connections where we're wanting to do those things and be a part of that. That's what I look for. Is
Mm.
that desire to actually go out of my way. Like if it has an
Your
ick
cup must be
feeling,
so full after this week. You must just have been feeling the best after this week.
I really am. Like, oh my gosh, I had such a good week. I had such a good week and so many connection points and like got to catch up with people I haven't seen in a long time and it was just beautiful. All of the conversations, all of the meetups I had, gosh, even just like observing my employees was so beautiful.
Mm.
Like, yes, it was cup filling. Also, I'm exhausted because I usually work from home.
That's yeah, yeah, unrelated. That's a really good
Unrelated.
sign. Like if you're spending time with people and your cup feels full, like you feel energized,
Yeah.
that's a good indication that they are the right people. If you feel drained, as in not tired, what you're saying, that's completely different. Like you can get tired from doing stuff and you've been driving, etc. I'm saying like if you feel emotionally drained or heavy after spending time with someone, that's a good sign that they're perhaps not the best person for you.
Yeah. Or if you feel like you have to, I don't know, if you feel like gross holding a secret for them, or you feel like you can't share about your experience, or if you feel
Mm.
like um, some sort of internal conflict about spending time with them, or I don't know, like deep anxiety about going somewhere, probably a sign it's not for you.
Yeah.
Just maybe. Just, uh,
Just could be a little bit of an indication, trust your instincts.
well, I mean, that's it. Yeah, you have to trust your intuition and your gut. And
Mm.
so often, like, I feel like people get into these relationships in things like high school or college, and they're like, those are my friends forever.
I definitely thought that when I was in high school. I was that
Well,
person.
yeah, right? Like, I have people I still talk to, but of my of my college friends, I have seen one of them in the past 5 years.
Mm.
That's it. Singular.
To be fair, one of my high school friends is still one of my best friends.
Yeah.
But university friends, I didn't really have university friends because I did my university by correspondence. So I didn't really have university friends.
Is that like e-learning? Is that like online?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you don't get that correspondence. Yeah, I guess.
University by correspondence is a new phrase to me. So
I
I'm just
did
like over
go.
here.
Like in my postgrad, I did go for psych. You can't do that by e-learning correspondence, whatever you want to call it. But so I met people, but I never really spent enough time with them to actually become like close friends. But one of my high school friends is still like one of my best friends. I still
Yeah.
talk to a couple of people as well. Like, but you grow and you change, and you're not
Yep.
always going to be the same person.
No, you're not. You're not. And neither are those people who you've been close to either. Like, they're not.
No.
People grow apart.
Yes.
Um, you have a friend from high school. I have a friend. Her name is also Katey. She also has a sister named Emily. And
Katey and Katey.
she, Katey and Katey, and we both have last names that start with K. And we have been friends since kindergarten.
Oh my God, stop. That's cute.
Yeah. Like, she invited me to go to a concert in a week and a half. She and I have been literally friends for over 30 years.
Oh, actually, that's my friend too. I'm acting like I don't have that, but I actually do. That
Oh,
friend that I'm talking about from high school, our mums were best friends. I
cool.
know, stop. I can't. It's like a movie.
That's like really sweet. That's like its own little like rom-commy, adorable.
Right? I know. So there's like
Oh,
pictures of us together when we were babies and like at each other's birthday parties and stuff. And she's still one of my best friends.
stop. That's amazing. Who
I
has
love it.
that? Like, apparently we do. Um,
Apparently we do, yeah. But that happens,
it
right?
does,
And
yeah.
I've said this before that because I've seen, like with, in my family and other friends and stuff, that I don't know, throughout high school, I used to say, like, I felt really lucky. I actually had about two or three people that I could have, I'm going to say two because I still actually have those two. One's a cousin, like a family member, and one's a friend, but that I could really trust. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people when they're teenage and stuff don't have that kind of friend. Like I feel super grateful that throughout my life I've had somebody, I'll say in my core five or two people in my core five who are still in my core five that will, it doesn't matter what, like I could tell them anything, I could trust them with anything, and they would support anything that I ever did without judgment. Like that's, yeah, it's not very common. So I feel super grateful for that.
Yeah, yeah, that's my baby sister. I call her my baby
Oh.
sister, but she's having a baby of her own. Like, my gosh. That's
My
my,
baby sister has a baby too, so it's fine.
it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, my little sister's always been that person.
Mm.
She is like my closest human. And she's been the consistent closest human for a long time. Now, okay, we had some issues growing up, of course.
Of course,
Like,
yeah, of
come
course.
on. She
My
told
sisters are in my core
stories.
too.
She's
Always.
told stories about me that are real ugly. She blames me for breaking her ankle twice, but it really wasn't my fault. It was just more like she took
Could have
up
been.
on my stupid idea of, do you know Skip-Its? Do you remember Skip-Its?
No,
How you, oh,
what's that?
you put it on your ankle and it's got a big ball at the end and you like spin it
Oh yeah, I
around and
know that.
you jump
Yeah.
over one side. Well, I thought she should stand on the other side of it and jump over the other side. That was a really poor idea. She broke her ankle. It's fine. But she blames me. Anywho, now she's my best friend.
That's
She's
always going
my
to happen, like with sisters. We did the craziest stuff. Like if we had our sisters on the podcast, it'd be so funny. I remember running over my sister with a motorbike once,
shoot.
like her leg. I was like, it's fine, it's not a big deal. Like nothing happened. And
That's
I was
just
like,
fine.
oh my god, don't tell mom, don't tell dad.
Yep. Yep,
But
yep.
besties. My sisters are
Totally
also. I've got two
besties.
sisters, but yeah,
Yeah.
definitely in my core five.
Oh yeah. I mean, like,
Always.
that's
Not always. Some people don't have family like that, but
no. It makes me sad because I'm like, my sister is she's my
mm,
people. She will be my people.
mm,
And bless, that girl has walked me through some crazy stuff. She's been
yeah.
like, she's been on some rides.
Well, I saw this. I can't. It was like I think it was a reel actually, and I shared it, but I'll try to find it again. And I'll put it on our thingy. But it was talking about how your sisters are the people that will be there for your whole life.
Mm.
Obviously, forbid anything happens to them or you, right? So when you're born, obviously you have your parents and stuff, but then they will die before you in the natural course of life.
Right.
Things happen. Obviously, it doesn't always happen that way, but and so then you spend part of your life without them.
Yeah.
Your sister or your brother or whatever that might be is there for most of it, right?
Yep.
Particularly if you're a younger sibling. So if you're like, for example, my younger sisters have always had me in their life and always will, with the exception of maybe a couple of years, hopefully.
Yeah.
It's true. Like they're there forever. Anyway, I'm not articulating properly. This girl put it amazing. Like, I was like, that's so true. I shared it on my story, and I'll try to find it and put it out on our Instagram. But this is not the topic what it's about, but you get it.
Well, I mean, and like they get to witness a consistent growth and be a
Yeah.
part of a really unique journey.
All your changes.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And
But
your siblings
okay.
may not support you. Like, I think that's really important. I just brushed over it by saying not everybody has that. But it is more in depth than that. Like,
Yeah.
you may not have a relationship with siblings that is positive, or you may not want your siblings to be part of your inner circle, or any circle for that matter, because you you know, maybe they're really negative, or maybe they put you
Yeah.
down or do nasty things, and that's fine. It's just different experiences, right? So we just happen to have positive experience, but I definitely acknowledge and have witnessed the opposite, like people who don't have relationships, and they don't. Your family doesn't. You said this earlier, but they don't need to be one of your core five.
Yeah. I mean, like some people have really tragic, traumatic, awful things that happen
Yeah.
with their family, or they have family members who have made choices that don't support like the other person's healthy lifestyle or
Mm.
whatever, or they have mindsets that just don't match up. Like their growth is not on the same journey, and that's okay. Yeah, that's why I think a lot of people have what they call their chosen family,
Yeah.
and that's really important. Sometimes people's chosen family becomes closer than their like blood family, and
Mm.
that's really beautiful. It's really
I've
beautiful
come
to
to
be able
learn that
to,
that's more often than not,
yeah,
actually. Yeah.
yeah,
I think when you grow up in a certain way, and with, you sort of feel like that's the norm, or just by default your experience is the norm because you don't know any different. But then as you get older, you hear about other experiences and you listen to stories, and maybe your friends have had different experiences. And I've just come to learn that what I have personally is actually the minority.
mm,
Like, a close knit family is the minority.
yeah.
Mm.
It really is. I was actually just thinking about my chosen family because I have a really beautiful, like, blood relative family. I have a really beautiful family, but I also have some chosen family members that are delightful. And what it made me think of is like, where do you find these people? If they're not your family, where do you find the people that you consider to be close? And the truth is, they come into your life in the weirdest ways. If they're meant to be a part of your life, they will be.
Hmm.
Um, like my friend Katie and I, we went to grade school together, but then we ended up not at the same school for years, and then back together in high school, and then separated for another several years. And our paths have just continued to cross in really interesting ways. Um, but one of my chosen family members, she's my parents' age. Um, Her name is Pat, and she is just this awesome human. Um, she actually was my piano student, my adult piano student. Started out that way.
Oh my
She
gosh.
started by learning from me, and now we go out to dinner once a month, and she helped me move, and she's been around for big, big parts of my life and will always be an incredible support. And she shows her support in the most brilliant ways. And vice versa. Like we have this level of trust and connection with each other, and it showed up in this
You
very
just
strange new
clicked.
dynamic. Exactly. And like
Yeah.
it's when you open yourself up and put yourself out there, then you can find those people. You don't
Mm.
find them just by like sitting and waiting around. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. No, 100%. And I've got like the two examples. So I feel like you and I are that. That was
Yeah, yeah.
super random. Like, commenting on a story, and now we're like doing a podcast together, and
Yeah,
like I would classify you as a good friend. Like,
same.
it is so random, but just clicked, right? And the same thing happened with my best friend. One day we just were at this dance class together, and we're like, hi, I want to go to a show. Yep, cool, now we're friends now. And they're just still my best friend. Like, it wasn't, we were just in the same situation at the same time. And there was just something that, I don't know, it was like just a conversation and we just clicked. Like we just knew.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like this person aligns. They align
Yeah.
with my boundaries, with my values, with like what I'm looking for in my life. And I think if you know those things for yourself, if you've done enough work to like recognize what those things are in yourself,
Mm.
finding good friends becomes easier.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You
I
have
mean,
to know, like, we spoke in depth, or not in depth, but about identity last week when I could barely speak, but that was super fun. Once you sort of have an understanding of who you are, like what you're saying and what you want from others, like their level of respect, like your goals, where you're going, what you need from other people. If someone gives you that, you can be like, okay, great. Like I need them in my inner dartboard. Might not be the center, but in my inner dartboard. If someone's like judging, or you put your goal out there and they're like, oh, okay, you might, you just be careful, blah blah blah, like whatever. They're probably not gonna align there, you know.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's every topic that we do is interconnected. But once you have your identity, you know who you are, where you're going, goals, it is easier to find or to acknowledge who those core people should be in the
Yeah.
bullseye.
Yeah, I mean, like relationships are important, but the most important relationship you have is with yourself. And so
Oh, absolutely.
if you start to develop that, do the deep work to figure out who you are, and what you want, then you can actually find people who are similar to you. But if you're like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm okay with whatever, then you're just going to violate your boundaries and end up with insincere people in your
Mm.
life.
Yeah, absolutely. I
So,
recall, I'll never forget, I remember once we had this, it was quite a few years ago now, and we'd had this group of friends, we'd been friends for quite a while, and we all went out to dinner, right? And if my friends are listening, they'll know, like my closer friends, because I've spoken to them about this. But I remember being at dinner, and there was one girl that we were friends with, and I just left at dinner going, I can't be good friends with her anymore. Like, I just, we had just clearly, she did nothing wrong. She's not nasty. Like, I would still talk to her. She's still an acquaintance. But I was like, I can't give my time to you and make an effort for you because we're too different now. You don't
yeah,
make me feel positive and good now. We've just grown apart in different directions. And my instinct was like, I'm not connected to you. So I'm not going to give any more time. And from that moment on, I didn't. Like, as I said, we've messaged each other seldom. Like, we don't, occasionally we'll just sort of like, hey, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it's not, yeah, it just
yeah,
happens,
it
because
does.
I just knew who I was and I knew where I was going, and it didn't feel right for me.
And that's so much of it. If you recognize that something doesn't feel right, take action on it. Do something about
Mm.
it. Because I mean, like the longer you just sit on something and the longer you let somebody continue to, I want to say, drain your energy, like the longer you let that happen, the worse it's going to feel, the worse it's going to get.
Mm.
It's not going to
And
get
the
better just by
harder it
sitting
is
there.
to change the relationship too.
Right.
So not only does it cause you more, negative feelings, like you're saying, particularly when we're talking about partners here. I'm going to I think that's probably, I just want to circle back to that because whilst we're talking about the core five,
Yeah.
like it's no secret that your partner is going, particularly if you live with them, is going to be the number one of that core five, whether you like it or not. Like
Yeah.
they are in the same place as you. You're spending the most time with them. You're around them all the time. So the longer you drag it out, if it's a negative environment, the harder it is to change that.
Yeah. No, I totally
We're
agree.
not here to break up relationships. Just want to preface that. I'm not here to be like, just throw your relationship in the trash.
Oh my gosh. So
Why did I say trash?
my mom's going to be a little bit embarrassed by this, I think, if she listens to this episode.
Hi,
Um,
Mum.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mum.
But she gave me like a dating tip when I was growing up, which was date them for 3 months, and at 3 months you have a feeling, whether it's something you want to continue or not. Kind of similar with like friends and things. Doesn't have to be as long necessarily, but if you get a vibe that something's not right, like cut it off. So
It's
basically,
true
she
though.
she gave me this relationship advice to like date them for 3 months and move on. That's it.
No, Mum, I think there's validity in this.
Yeah.
And I think with friends, like there's that gut intuition when you meet people, you're like, not my vibe. You can kind of instantly tell,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And again, like, so many examples, but I'm gonna say our social media because us, right? Like we just started talking, and I didn't get any like feeling, nah.
Ugh.
Like, or there'll be people who I find like on social media, and I'll be like chatting, they just don't respond. I'm like, okay, well, you're just not my person. Like, I actually really like you, and I like, as in, I don't know you, but like, I like your content. I'm engaging and supporting you, and you're like
Yeah.
not responding. It's like, cool.
Or the things that you say or that they respond with just make you like angry on the
What?
inside or make you go, what? Like,
Yeah, then that's
you
not it.
just you just know. And so why continue or further that and put energy into that when like there are only 24 hours in a day, guys. And honestly, that's not that many. So you may as well spend it with people that you like, who build you up, who continue your growth, who challenge you in really beautiful ways, and who support you.
100%.
Yeah. So I thank my mom every day for that little piece of advice that
Thanks, Mum.
said, turn them and burn them. Like, three and go. 3 months,
It's
turn them over.
amazing.
We're turning tables here. We're just moving through things.
I feel like we could have ended at the dartboard, but to summarize, I would just say, like, the point we're trying to make is where you spend your most time or who you spend your most time with is going to affect who you are, and it's going to really impact your life. So
Yep.
make sure that those people that are in the bullseye are the right people. And if they're not the right people, take some action.
I like that.
I love
Way
it.
to be. Well, if you like this episode, if you like any of our other material, please go follow us. All of our episodes are up on Spotify and we're on YouTube. So go like, subscribe, do all the things, drop us a line, leave us a message, tell us what you want to hear about. Because
Yes,
we want to, we want to build a community with you. So until next time,
have a great day, guys. Thank you.
see you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.